Hey everybody, my next guest is the director of the Music Legacy International. It's an international music and arts organization dedicated to the advancement of independent musicians, artists, performers, and various talents in the music and arts industry. Here he is to tell us all about it, the one and only Tony Giannelli. Tony, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Don? Glad that we were able to get together.
Yeah, this is so awesome to have you on the show. I love what you're doing with the Music Legacy International. I'm a member of it now. I've made a lot of connections and a lot of friends on there. I think it's a really powerful tool that you got going on. But before we get really into it, just tell me what inspired you to kind of create the Music Legacy International and a little background on it.
Okay, so let's go way back before I even had the idea. I was a musician. And back in the 80s when I played, there were great opportunities. There were places all over that you could go and play and make a decent living out of it.
Right.
Something happened in the mid 80s, 90s, where all of a sudden things started to change. The insurance to the club owners skyrocketed. It was hard for them to make ends meet. And back then, a lot of the clubs and things started dropping like flies. So at that point, my kids started, they were very young, and it was like, I have to really rethink this if I want them to have a decent education. And
Right.
so I started my own business. And I got involved in business. So I learned a little bit about that. One of the businesses was a communications company. And I was lucky enough that when we started to build computers, Bill Gates and Microsoft approached us and said, we'd like you to put our software into your computers. So luckily, way back then in the 80s,
Right.
it was a fantastic opportunity for me because I actually could be in the same room with Bill Gates and listen to him talk, and it was a wonderful experience. So,
So
getting trained by him and seeing how his mind worked just triggered a lot of things in me that
wow.
I really am
So
grateful for.
yeah, this is
So,
so well. We gotta talk a little bit about this Bill Gates stuff with you. Have a relationship with Bill Gates back in the
no,
day,
no, no. I don't have a relationship with him. We never kept in touch after the training and stuff. So, there is no relationship, but
but you were
it
in
is,
early on.
it
Like,
was a learning experience for me that was a new business owner and something that, I still take with me today, the stuff that I learned from that.
yeah, and to be ahead of the curve and to be that early on, because in the '80s was when computers were just really starting to become kind of mainstream, where people were starting to get them into their houses and stuff like that. And I'm a kid of
Yeah.
the '80s. That's where I came of age. I'm born in the '70s, but came of age really in the '80s. And that's when technology really started to come of age. And for you as a business owner to kind of embrace it, and just because a lot of people resist change and evolution, or you know what I mean, technology, and for you to embrace it and then have like Bill Gates himself train you,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Can you
crazy.
imagine? That was amazing, right? So when the computers first came out, my father had like one of the first home computers.
Like the
What was it
Commodore
called?
64.
Commodore 64 it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I was like, oh, how does this thing work? And then I started to learn DOS, programming with DOS. And,
yeah.
from there, it just evolved into other things. But coming closer to today in the music legacy idea, during COVID, I was sitting on the couch going through my mail and checking out Facebook, and, wasn't much else to do other than eat and drink.
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I start to see these posts from a lot of people that I had played with or knew from the business, where they didn't know how they're going to make ends meet, that they were doing music full time still. And how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to put food on the table for my family? And I was like, wow, this is really a, a thing. There's no reason that this should be happening in this
Right.
day and age with all the technology that we have.
Right.
And that's when my brain started going, sometimes I just can't help myself. How can we fix this problem?
Right. Yeah.
Um, and I did send out some money to a couple close friends or, people that I knew for a while to help them out. And I was like, there's no reason this should be happening. So um, I started to come up with the idea, um, Music Legacy International. So I was all gung ho. Music Legacy is going to make this idea happen.
Right.
And what happened is they said that they were going to go out of business because of COVID.
Right.
So I got in touch with my attorney, bought the name, reopened it under my own thing, and
Wow.
became what it is today. And it's basically musicians helping musicians.
Right.
Because I definitely don't want to make this all about me, because even though I had the idea, we're doing it with people at all levels of music, arts, and entertainment. And
Right.
what's happening is we're trying to make it a tool that anybody in the industry can use to help advance their careers and do it faster than normal. Um, when I first started, a lot of people told me this will never work because the artists aren't going to want to work together. They're a little bit jealous of each other.
The competition. Yeah.
Yeah. But it turned out that it wasn't really the case. Once I started it, all of a sudden, people are giving me ideas. Can we do this? Can we do that? And we're making it happen. And had some good people working with me to build the concept platform is what you see now.
Right.
We're still in early access. And we're looking at a full launch probably by January. And by that, what that means is we are going to monetize the platform. So there'll be products and services available that will be available through our members. So if you're a sound engineer and you want to promote your business, you promote it in Music Legacy International. We just started doing events and interviews through the CBS affiliate
Right.
studio here in New York. I work out of the Long Island studio in Melville. Um, that's the Drake Media Studio. With Donna Drake has been
Yeah.
doing her television show for the past 20 years.
Yeah. We love
She
Donna.
interviewed me last summer, and they got such a great response from it. They approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in a collaboration with them. So it's almost a year now, and that we've been working with the studio, and some great things have come out of that. I've
Yeah.
interviewed bands like Badfinger, Zebra, um, Kerry Carney, all these great people in the
Yeah.
industry. And what we started to do as a way of showing good faith to the people that sign up for our early access, if they sign up for the early access, which is free, and it will continue to be free to sign in free.
Right.
Um, what we're offering them is an opportunity for an interview on our podcast, the video podcast. And what
That's
that
cool.
does is tells people who they are, whether they're a beginner or a pro or anything in between. It tells who they are, and their passion can come through in that and attract to them other people who are doing similar.
Right.
So maybe this guitarist, a bass player, watches his video and says, "Hey, I want to be your bass player." And through Music Legacy, they can connect. That's the thing that happens most on the platform, as you've probably seen. This one's connecting with that one. This one's connecting with that one. They'll
Right.
post, there's a timeline. They can post what they're working on or what they've done in the past. And there's just a great opportunity because the platform is fully searchable. So when you sign in for free, you create your profile and it tells people who you are, what you've done in the past, what you're doing now, what your plans are for the future, and it connects you with other people with common goals.
Right.
When people read that profile, they say, "Hey, I want to be part of this. This guy has potential." And that's what's going to attract those people to you.
Exactly.
So,
It's such a great networking tool for musicians and anybody in the music industry. I think it would be good too for venues to try to find artists, or for artists to find venues and all that sort of thing. And for, it almost replaces, like you mentioned, coming up in the 80s and stuff like that, when you were a musician, how back in the day you just get the like a Good Times magazine or a local magazine, on the back pages in the classifieds you could see, hey, guitarist needed for a rock band, or we're looking for a singer for a punk band. This kind
right, right.
of give replaces that need, and people can now utilize Music Legacy
Well, I don't
International
think
for
it
that.
replaces. It doesn't replace because the written word is something that should never be replaced. That's a great tool.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so, what I would hope to do is connect with the people who have these publications and these magazines. I'm not looking to put them out of business. What I'm looking to do is maybe have their magazine in Music Legacy so
Right.
that they can
Exactly.
get
Yeah.
access to more people who sign in for their publication.
And it is great for
That's
like that, for like podcast hosts and writers and people who want to review music, or things like
yeah,
that, to find and locate people too. It definitely is, kind of multi leveled, and
yep, yep.
yeah, so it's pretty cool concept of what you got going on here. It seems to be getting very successful, and continues growing and evolving. As far as, like, you talk about being kind of ahead of the curve back in the 80s, when Bill Gates comes to you and gives you a tutorial, whatever he did, help you out. Until now, you know, it have you always saw yourself as ahead of the curve with all of these types of technologies, and just building upon it, or did, like, ideas just happen when they happen?
Um, I guess what I do is I take advantage of what's in front of me. I just look around and I put things together. Um, Kind of like the communications company started out, where I had a wholesale candy business, and a guy came to me and said, "Hey, I'll give you two-thirds of my business if you just promote my products and services to your client base." So I was like, "Oh, what are those products and services?" And he goes, "These little things called beepers."
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you remember beepers, but
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like what the doctors use?" He goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're gonna get them in the hands of everybody."
Wow.
So it's like two-thirds. Where do I sign? And I signed that, and that evolved into the computers and cell phones and all of that stuff. So it
Yeah.
it was a fun thing.
Yeah, you definitely were always a beat ahead of the curve there, which is pretty awesome. And also, I like too how you see an opportunity within a troubled time. So, like, within COVID, when we're all down, and it was just such a weird time period, especially in the beginning, and when the world shut down, and instead of sulking in it, you find opportunity. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And you know, sometimes I think, because there's a few people have done things like that during the COVID times, and you wonder if COVID had never happened, would half of the stuff we would, like, even now, just talking on Zoom, like Zoom was
Yeah,
was around, but it wasn't like everybody using it, but until COVID happened. So
right.
would the world be different had COVID not, like, happened, or like, so was there? I guess there were positives within the negative of that time period.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Music Legacy would be around.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be. I don't know, but that was the inspiration. That's what made me think, hey, something has to be done. And a lot of things have to be done because the artists aren't making any money on streaming practically.
Yeah.
AI now is going to take away a lot of opportunities, what would normally go to artists. But again, there's such great things that are coming out of AI too, that same thing. I think it's like you said, you got to look at it this way. Back in the day, when the automobile was invented, the horse and carriages. Oh, the horse industry selling horses went down.
Right, right,
No more carriages, right? You don't see those around today. There's none that I know of that are in
right.
existence. If they are, it's a novelty thing, right?
Yeah.
But I guess this is part of moving forward, and you have to be, I guess, ready and to spot these changes and do something with it. I'm not saying to jump on a bandwagon. Um, as a matter of fact, there are no bandwagons anymore, are there?
Exactly. No, but I know what you're saying. You're saying that you have to kind of embrace the change, otherwise you get left behind.
Yeah,
And
and not only embrace it, be part of. You have to be part of that
yeah,
change. Otherwise, you're just being pulled by the tide.
yeah, exactly. Because like
You got to make waves, right?
just in the last 30 years, and I feel like technology keeps speeding up. Like we've
Oh
just
yeah,
seen, like in my lifetime, I'm 54, I've been born in 71, and through my time, I've just seen so many things change from the, like you said, the computers getting in there, then the internet, and then cell phones, and then the smartphone, and now here we are with AI, and all this technology just keeps growing and growing and faster, and you got to keep pivoting and change with it. And but through all the jobs that might go away as a result of technology, new jobs emerge, new
right.
opportunities emerge. So you got to kind of stay on pace with that. And
Yeah, and get creative with it, right?
yeah. So even with
Yeah.
musicians and AI, my son's a musician, and he's in North Carolina, and he plays with all these bands. But you gotta, and he has a studio in his house and everything. But you have to learn to um, utilize AI as a tool, and not see it as an enemy, because yes, a lot of, I could make a song right now on my, with the AI thing, but there's still something special and I think deeper, more complex when it's a human being doing it. but
Right.
you can use AI as a tool in the studio,
Yes.
or that sort of thing.
Yep. Yep. Matter of fact, what we're doing, which right now AI can't do or can't do well enough yet, is the live performances. So we're focusing on the live events. I'm doing them out of the CBS affiliate here on the island. And we just connected up in the platform. I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Rebecca Harold, but she owns Music City Tours, and they do music tours uh, all over. Matter of fact, when I was talking to her last, she had mentioned a possible European tour that she was working on. What we're trying to do is put together the opportunity. So Rebecca threw it out there in the interview that we did that anybody in Music Legacy that felt that they were capable, she'd love to hear from them about being part of the tour. Now, the good part about this is some of the musicians that are in Music Legacy don't do it full time, but she said she'd be willing to even do it where they can jump on a single night of a tour, or when they're in the state that that
Uh,
person lives in,
wow,
or something like that, where it doesn't necessarily have to be the whole tour. So I thought that would be a kind of a cool thing.
that's
Somebody
awesome.
could get out there and get recognized, and who knows what could come out of something like that, right? And that's the
Yeah,
whole thing. It's all about opportunities. You got to, what we're trying to do is provide opportunities for people in music, arts, and entertainment. So if you're somebody who has an idea for something, whether it's an event or a song, I always use this analogy. What if in high school you wrote a poem in your English class and you still have that poem, but it's sitting in your drawer at home and nobody's read it in 30 years,
right.
right? What if you just took a picture of it or posted it on Music Legacy in the timeline, and one of your favorite bands that you love reads the lyrics and says, these would fit perfect with the song that we're working on that we have no lyrics for. And
Right.
what if the band called you up and said, hey, we love your lyrics or your poem, and we want you to give us the rights to use it in our song. Wouldn't that be an awesome thing, right?
That would be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, you never know. And the thing is, like I said, you have to make opportunities and get creative with yourself. You could sit in the room all day, watch TV, but what do you get in return from that? Somebody
Exactly.
giving you an idea with a commercial to go out and spend money, right? What about the opportunity to make money by
Uh,
connecting with people, ideas for songs, or even just downloading songs? What we're working on now, it's not available yet, but we're going to have paid memberships when we fully launch,
right.
which will provide the members, depending on what membership level that they need, the ability to upload songs onto our servers and provide them as downloads to their fans. And instead of paying a streaming service or a download service, I don't want to use names,
Right,
and
right.
having to give them 30% of your profits,
Right.
they'll be able to make 100% on the sale of
Wow,
that.
that's huge. Yeah, because a lot
Yeah.
of those
So
music services now, I mean, you hear stories of some of these guys, these artists selling, thousands or millions or tens of thousands, whatever, of their music, and they're only making like pennies, like per
yeah.
song or something like that, so that it's not really
Yeah,
adding up.
under pennies, less than a
Yeah.
penny. Yeah.
So that's so
Matter of
they
fact,
have.
I had in one of my interviews, the artist said that he had over a million, um, whatever. I forget what platform it was, if it was downloads or streams, whatever. But he only made hundreds of dollars on
That's crazy.
over a million streams or downloads, whatever it was. So
Yeah,
that's I don't know. It just is unfair.
a lot of that
You
has,
can't.
yeah, like with music, the music business in general, a lot of things have, like with technology, going back to that is the focal point, is technology definitely hurt the music business and in the business part of it, where, yeah, I can get my song out there and a lot more people could hear it, but I'm not
Yeah,
making as much money as I would back in the 70s and 80s or 90s, where people were buying albums or CDs or cassettes, whatever. And I was, it was a product where I was getting money back, and there was a count of it. It was easier to keep tally of how much sold and all that. Where now people, are streaming it. Like if I download it, I could just play it for my friends, and all that. But I think that you said earlier too about live playing live.
right.
That's the one thing that the technology can't take away, is fans wanting to go out and see their favorite artist live, and in person and playing in front of them. That's something that I hope I never see the day that could be replaced. I just can't imagine that.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but if this is true, um, Bob Evans from Badfinger, when I interviewed him, he said that they have this hologram technology that they do
That's crazy.
that it will eventually be able to replace a live artist. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything that was realistic enough to do that yet. But
I went
um,
to a museum where they had kind of like hologram figures, and they're trying to get it to the point. Right now it's you could talk to it, but it only has only a certain number of questions it could answer. So let's say you're talking to um like Obama, like in this is a museum in DC right across the street from the White House. And there's like in a box, and Obama's sitting in the box, and you can just go up to him and he goes, "Hi, how are you?" And then you go, "Hey, how you doing?" And then he'll answer your questions, he'll interact. But what they're trying to do now is tap into AI more, where he could
yeah,
answer any question. You could ask him anything. It's like AI, and he'll just be able to
sure.
answer it. So you can interact, like literally interact with a hologram. So yeah, to that point, it's kind of scary. But you know in your mind that you're not talking to the real Obama, but
Right, right.
still, if it's, let's just say it's Bob Marley or Elvis or Tupac or whoever the artist might be, who's not with us anymore and is able to sit there and perform and just feels real. It's crazy.
hundreds. I don't know how many people there are, but I'm sure it's a sold out event. Anything that he does is always a sold out event.
It's amazing. Yeah. I think what we're going to see in the next few years because of this AI is just going to be mind blowing to us.
Yeah.
I think what comes to mind, I guess back in the 90s, my grandmother was close to 100 years old. And I asked her, what are the most amazing things that you've seen in your lifetime? And she said, well, when I was a little girl, there was the Great Depression. And that was very scary to me as a little girl.
Yeah.
But what I saw was neighborhoods, and people coming together, which kind of makes me think now of what COVID maybe was similar to us.
Right.
But what came out of that is all of a sudden afterwards, there was the war, World War One, World War Two. But what had happened is when I was a little girl, there were more horses than cars. And then all of a sudden it started to evolve until there were more cars than horses.
Right.
And we didn't have refrigerators. We had what we called the ice box.
Right.
And
Right.
even to this day, not to this day, but till she died, she always called the refrigerator the ice box.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the ice guy would come, deliver the ice, put it in in the box, and it would keep everything fresh like a refrigerator does today.
Right.
And so she started to go through this journey, and then there was the man on the moon, and
Right.
now they got computers and the stuff that she talked about. I just pictured coming from horse and buggy
Right.
times
It's crazy.
to where we were at this time when I was talking to her in the 90s. But now I look at the 90s, and where we are now is so much further. But where it's going to be with this AI and stuff that's happening now, if we don't kill each other first,
True. It's a
we've
good
got
point.
amazing things that could happen.
Yeah. Or if the computers don't kill us first. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now with AI creating AI, and then just the
Yeah.
endless cycle of AI always constantly, evolving itself. That's scary too of what it's going to be capable of, and we can't keep up with that. I mean, it's just nuts. Like this, when you really think about it, and there's no way to tame the beast. We let the genie out of the bottle. There's no putting
Yeah.
it back. You know,
Yeah.
but we just can't let and it's crazy when you see. Like anybody can now get on their computer, type in a few things, and they could have a video or a song or an essay written out or a script or whatever. Um, I don't get worried for art, but I do get worried for art because I think art will always prevail through it because I think the one thing the AI doesn't have is emotions. And I believe that real art comes is obviously all emotions. It's what trends
Mm,
out, comes out of us.
and
Um,
passion. Yeah.
yeah. So as long as AI doesn't learn how to do that, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said also that you were a musician. You still playing now? You still get out there and rock out?
A little bit. Every once in a while, I have a recording studio in my home. So I'll have friends or family come over and we'll jam. But it's sad how rotten I sound these days. But once I could get this thing built and running on its own, I will definitely be playing and writing songs again.
When you came up through the scene, who were you like playing with like the Good Rats or any of those type of bands back in the day? Like who was around in your
No,
heyday?
no, not really. What happened is I had moved down south in 1978 or 79. And at the time, the guy who was my drummer from when I was like 12 was dating my sister, and he moved down there too. So when we first moved down there, we took jobs. We didn't have a band that was playing regularly. It was just me and him.
Right.
And one day he comes to my house and he goes to me. He goes, "Grab your guitar, come with me." I was like, "Why? What's going on?" He goes, one of the guys from the Charlie Daniels band wants to see your guitar. I told him about your guitar. So I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, say no more. So I grabbed my guitar, we go to his house, and then we hit it off really good. And he wanted to put together a band that when Charlie wasn't touring, that they could do some local stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So we were like, yeah, we're all in. This is great. And we jammed with them. And before we ever really played out anywhere, the keyboard player from there um, pulled us on the side and said, "Forget about this country stuff. New wave is going to be the future. Why don't you? I'm gonna." He was a producer and he used to bring bands over from Europe. So he said, "Call this guitarist, and I'll be back in about a month from Europe. Put some new wave songs together, and we'll do something with that too, you know." So we were like, yeah, sure. So I gave the guy a call. He sounded cool. We went to his house. He had a little music room in the back room. So we would go there at night and we're learning songs by the Police, the Pretenders, Pat Benatar,
Yeah.
you know,
Good stuff,
stuff
man.
that we liked, but we
Right.
weren't really into playing it, you know.
Right. Right.
So a couple times we got there and he was still eating dinner with his family. So me and my drummer would go in the back room and then we'd start playing my original stuff that we've been playing since I'm 12, you know.
Right. Right.
And one night he comes bursting in. He goes, "What is that?" I go, "Oh, it's just something I wrote." He goes, "You wrote that? Keep playing it." And then he started playing it. And next thing you know, we're playing all original music. And it's kind of hard rock. Some of it was like,
This is with
I
Charles
guess,
Daniels.
popular type rock, but some of it was really hard. And then we started co-writing songs together. And we had all different kinds of songs. It was like a country ballad we'd come up with and all these different songs. And then one night, as we're playing, the drummer stops in the middle of a song, which was like unheard of.
Right. Yeah.
He was a pro drummer. He was really good. And he's holding his chest like this. I'm like, oh my God, is he having a heart attack? What's going? I go, you all right? What's going on? He takes his drumstick and he points at the window, and there's all these faces looking in the window, right? It was even raining out, right? And his whole property was filled with people listening to us play, right?
Wow.
And from that night on, his wife was like, no more playing. No more playing at the house here. You're out. They ripped up the whole lawn because it was raining. It got all turned into all mud and everything.
Wow.
So then
Damn.
we rented our own warehouse, which was like easy, a mile from the nearest house. All of a sudden, one night, pounding on the door, it's the cops. Hey, officer, what's up? He goes, we're having complaints from the neighbors. I go, neighbors? What neighbors? He goes, oh, you guys are pretty loud. The neighbors are about a mile or two away, and they're still hearing you.
Wow. Damn.
So we're like, oh, all right. He goes, oh, no, I'm not telling you to stop. He goes, but we after 11 o'clock, we would be obligated to give you a fine. So what happened is we could play till 11 o'clock and then stop. So we were good with that because we'd get several hours in, in the daytime. And
That's crazy.
but it became the place where the cops would hang out. So we got to know those guys. They were all fun.
That's
It was good stuff. Good stuff.
wow. So yeah, so you're rocking out with Charles Daniels and part of the band and all that stuff, and it's just
Oh, yeah, I don't know if you saw our latest interview, but Professor Louis. Oh no, you didn't see it because it didn't get released yet. Professor Louis, who produced the last albums of the band, and even after the band, Levon Helms and those guys that he played with for many years. That's one of the newer interviews that'll be coming out soon.
that's cool.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Ozzy Osbourne. I was blessed to have a conversation with him uh, back in the '80s, just before.
Like
Excuse me.
like when he first went
Just
solo.
before Randy died.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, most of the conversation was like, "What? Huh?" He couldn't understand my New York accent. I couldn't understand his London accent. But
Where was that? Where did that? When did you meet up with Ozzy
that
back
was in
then?
Hollywood, at a music store. I don't even remember the name of the store, but a lot of fun. Me and my lead singer. The rest of the band wasn't with us. It was just me and him.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. So you got these run-ins with Ozzy. You're with the Charles Daniels band, rocking out, causing ruckus. Where was this in Georgia or like?
Let's see. Where we mostly played was South Florida,
Oh, okay, all right, cool, yeah.
South Florida area. But it was fun to go to the house and you have the giant Charlie Daniels tour bus on the side of the house. That was kind of cool.
That's
I,
so
I wish I
cool.
took pictures of that stuff. I never took pictures. I should have.
What's cool is when things like that happen that are unexpected or unplanned. Like you said, your friend just comes, grab your guitar, we're gonna go. Charles Daniels wants to see you, and then next thing you know, you're rocking out with him, and you're basically part of his house band, and you know what I mean. I just love that life could if you embrace life enough, good things happen. You know.
Well, that was the one thing is I was always looking for adventure, some kind of fun. What are we gonna do? I was a little mischievous.
And that never stopped. And here you are, still going, still creating, still helping people out. And with Music Legacy International, I think this is a great thing. Um, and it's free, right?
I'm
Anybody could
sorry
sign.
about that phone ringing. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Let me
that's
just
okay.
shut that off.
Okay, no worries.
My assistant is out sick today.
Ah, okay, all good. Yeah, and anybody could sign up, right? You don't need to be a musician to join it.
Anybody could sign up, and eventually there will be things on the platform that anybody who just loves music can download songs. Right now, we have a section in there called music videos. You could go in there. Some of them are great, some of them not so great. Um, you could check out some of the music of some of the other members in there, and I think that inspires a lot of the members to connect with each other. They'll see a video and say, "Hey, I can help them make this better," or "I love what they're doing and I want to be part of it," or I'm just a fan of their music. I want to connect with them. So when they do connect, you can private message each other in there.
Right.
Um, and you could eventually what we're going to do is when you do plan events through the Music Legacy platform, this is something that we really should talk about. Um, when we monetize and we have income coming in, Music Legacy is not just stuffing our pockets with the money
Right.
like a lot of other platforms would do. It's going to go into a fund. And then that fund is going to pay out to the active members in the community. What that means is when you sign in or when you sign into the community for the first time and become a member,
Right.
you'll get points for that. Just like when you buy something with your credit card and
Right.
you get points and then you can turn the points into cash.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Something similar is going to happen with Music Legacy. So when you sign in, you get points. When you invite other people, see through your profile, if you invite other people through your profile, they will be connected to you for life. So when they purchase something or when they do something, you're going to get thank you points for bringing them into Music Legacy.
Right.
And everybody's going to get points. Eventually, what's going to happen is as the fund grows, we're going to say, okay, when the fund reaches this, we're going to have a payout. And what that means is we're going to divide the fund by the total number of points that we have. That means each point will be worth this dollar amount. And for example, let's just say you're just getting started and you're a beginner, and maybe you don't know a lot of people and you didn't do a lot on the platform yet, but you have some points. So maybe you'll have enough to buy a cup of coffee or strings for your guitar or
Right.
reeds for
Yeah.
your saxophone, whatever. You might have a little bit of money coming in. But maybe you're somebody who invites a lot of people in or does a lot of stuff. And now instead of going and buying your stuff here, you're buying it through the platform.
Right.
What's going to happen is you're going to accumulate all these points, and those points possibly could turn into enough to buy new equipment for your band, or promotional posters for your
That's a
um, for your next show, or maybe new equipment for the band, stuff like that.
That's a great incentive too for people to be more interactive on the medium itself, and
Yeah,
so I think
yeah,
it's a win-win for everybody, and yeah, I just think it's a really cool thing to kind of give back for the company to, for the international, Music Legacy International to kind of keep feeding it and growing it like that. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
And
yeah. Think about how many people jumped on. Oh man, I can't even remember the name of it. Napster,
oh yeah,
because they could
yeah,
get free music, right?
right,
And what happened? The artists suffered from it. So what
right,
we're trying to do is build a platform no, where they don't suffer, where the fans can get for a small membership, they could get a top spot where a fan can actually connect with that band that they love in their band's group. The VIP members are going to have their own group in there that you'll be able to go into, just like a Zoom room, and you'll be able to go in there and ask the artist questions, talk one on one, just like we're talking.
yeah.
Um, you could talk one on one with the band members if you want. Maybe
That's
it'll be
cool.
100 people in that room, but hopefully you'll get an opportunity to ask your question and talk with them. Maybe it'll be a live performance in that little studio
That would be cool.
space.
That'd be a cool thing to do.
Cool stuff, really cool stuff.
Are you
So
gonna?
we got a lot of plans for the future, and because we're working out of CBS, we have so many opportunities to do great things. And before this interview is over, I just want to make one thing clear. What we're doing with our interviews that we do with the artists of all levels, and with the live performances and the interviews, what we're doing is we're going to try to piece together a 13 episode show that could be similar to, like, and now we're going back to people who are old like me, um, similar to like the old MTV, American Bandstand, Don Kirshner's rock concert, the Ed Sullivan Show. Look,
Right.
Ed Sullivan brought us the Beatles.
Yeah.
So all of these influences in a modern show that we'll hopefully be able to, promote to CBS and see if they'd be interested in doing that.
I think you got something really great going on here. And have you also thought about maybe taking it on the road, so to speak, and having like a concert series that could be both virtual but also live? So like let's say you get a club or a venue and you have a bunch of artists perform there for the live audience, Music Legacy International, in the backdrop and all that kind of stuff, and then also it's going out virtual for the fans that all around the world. I think that could
Yeah,
be
well, right now we're in 21 countries. So what the concept of this is especially now that we're dealing with Music Legacy tours, what I would like to happen is when they do the tours, if they sell out or they're close to selling out, we'd like to sell tickets for online for the people who can't make it. Maybe
right,
they can't get a babysitter, or they're in Texas and the show is in Georgia, or they're in India and they want to watch the show.
right,
We have members in 21 countries now. So this is something that is it very easily could happen. So what happens is now the artists are not limited to the amount of tickets they can sell to a venue. We could go beyond what the venue could support. And now we know for the next show, we need a bigger venue, but now it doesn't limit their income that they could make from it.
right.
So a lot of great stuff like that we could do. Yes. They're in the works right now.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's a great thing what you're doing, Tony, and I urge everybody out there to join Music Legacy International. You could join in for free, and then there's the things you can do if you want to pay your way up, and then you get more obviously exclusive things going on. as you graduate into different levels. But
Yep.
I think it's a great thing. You can learn a lot about different musicians. You can connect with different musicians, different people in the industry. It's a really super cool tool. I'm going to have all the information all throughout this interview, but right now it's right there if I want to see it. But yeah, so make sure you check it out. Um, Tony, this has been great, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and to share all this great stuff you have going on.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on your show as well.
All right. And before we go, you said you would do a little promo for DONversations. So if you could.
Yes, yes. Hi, this is Tony from Music Legacy International. Uh, Check me out and a lot of other great podcasts from Don on the DONversations podcast. Is that good?
That was great. You
Okay.
rocked it. Thanks so much. Thanks
Yeah.
again. I truly appreciate you, all the time you give me. I'm looking forward to coming on with you as well.
Yeah,
Um,
now that's this Thursday coming up, right?
yeah, so yep, I'll be there.
Nice.
I'm psyched. Uh,
All right, good, good.
so thanks
Yeah, and
again.
now have you ever been in this studio in the Drake Media Studio?
I have. I
This one?
was on Donna's show a couple years ago, and I was back. I was in there back in the day when it was the news. Also,
TV 55, yeah.
yeah, because I was trying to get
Yeah.
a job in there a long time ago. So I went there for a job interview, and I was became the master controller, which is all the way out east. And I did that for a little while. Then I got something else and moved on. But yeah, so I'm familiar with that building. I think it's awesome that Donna has it, and Donna's an
Yeah.
awesome person. I've been on her show. She's been on my show, and we've done other work together. So yeah, she rocks, and I love
Yeah.
that studio space over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Have you seen the immersive room yet?
yeah, the screen, the all like the 360 almost. It's like yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
super cool. Yeah, what they
Yeah, that's
did.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna do some fun stuff out of there too. Actually, I was just talking with Kerry Carney
yeah.
about he's gonna be in January, we're gonna be planning an event for him out of there.
Oh, sweet.
And so what we were talking about is having a live audience in the main studio, and then we're gonna have a green room that they'll be able to hang out with Kerry and they could watch the show from the green room as well. And then we're going to have the that immersive room, kind of like where they could go. Somebody who maybe can't afford to buy tickets to the show, and they'll be able to watch it on the wall, on the 360 wall. So
That's
it'll be
cool.
almost like they're there.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
I love all the stuff you got going on, and you keep giving back to the community and to the music, and and to the musicians most importantly. So I think you're doing a great thing, Tony. So thank you so much, everybody.
yeah.
Again, check him out, Tony Giannelli. Everybody.
And just keep in mind, I encourage everybody to sign in free. You don't have to have a paid membership, but if you decide that you would like some help with your career, there's going to be great opportunities inside there. So it's www.musiclegacyinternational.com. Just click on the community access option and sign in with just your name and email.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again. Hold on. At least.
All right. Thanks, man.